everybody. Today we have beautiful laptop, Lenovo ThinkPad E15 series. It's an Intel Core i7 10th gen laptop. Beautiful full HD screen. Let's take it apart, let's see what we can fix, replace or upgrade. Start with bottom screws. Now we have to separate the bottom case from the Palmrest. So once you have the gap, start separating both parts, disconnect all the clips, and use only plastic tool, otherwise you can scratch the other parts. Okay, the bottom is off. Look for the part number on those white stickers. Now we have access to all the internal components, so start with disconnecting the battery. So you have to pull it out, and now we can take it out. So if the battery doesn't hold the charge or it's swollen, you can replace it. So that's our part number and the model number for the battery. Here, that's our RAM memory slot. So if the memory doesn't work, you can replace this module. Or if you would like, you can upgrade to the bigger one. Here, that's our Wi-Fi card. So if the Wi-Fi doesn't work, you can replace this card. Gently disconnect the antenna wires. Take out this one screw on the top, and now we can slide it out. Look for, that's our part number, the FRUPN. Here, that's our I/O board with our USB port and the network port. This is on the separate board, so if it doesn't work, you can replace just this board. In order to do that, you have to unscrew the hinges. They cover partially the board. Now let's unscrew the opposite hinge for future, so we can disconnect the screen assembly. Now gently unfold the hinges. And now we can take out this board. So there is one more screw here. Now disconnect it from the motherboard. The cable is routed through the fan. Okay. And I usually close those clips. They're very fragile. If you leave them open, you can break it later. So that's our I/O board. That's our part number. Here, that's our storage. So if your laptop doesn't boot and tells you there is no boot device, or you would like to upgrade storage to the bigger one, this is how you can do it. So take off this cover, and the actual drive, that's this one. Okay, so the drive comes with this bracket extension, because usually those drives are longer. So you could install a longer one. In this case, we have this short one. You can slide it out from that bracket. That's the NVMe SSD drive. Now that's our second storage. That's the hard drive. So in our case, that's gonna be a blank. But you can replace it with a SSD that's 2.5 inch, like a laptop size. So that's just the black. Here, let's see our speakers. So if the sound is bad, you would like to replace your speakers. There's no screws, and both speakers are connected with one cable, so be careful with that. And now disconnect from the motherboard. So, and here we have the part number. Now that's our heatsink and the fan for cooling. So if your laptop overheats and you would like to add cooling paste between the processor and the heatsink, or if the fan doesn't spin, it's clogged with dog or cat hair, or it's making grinding noise, this is when you would like to replace it. So unscrew these screws. Be careful with that antenna wire cable. Now we can take it out. Be careful, don't bend that heatsink. If you bend it, it won't work anymore. Now disconnect from fan from the motherboard. And here we have the part number. Here, that's our processor. It is soldered on the motherboard, so if it doesn't work, you have to buy the whole motherboard. Alright, so now let's pull out the motherboard. Disconnect all the cables. That's our video cable for the screen. Now I will keep the CMOS battery with the motherboard. So let's take out all the screws for the motherboard. Oh, there's one screw here. Alright, and now on the opposite side, let's disconnect our keyboard and touchpad. And the board is out. That's our part number. Also check the one on the white sticker, the FRU number. Alright, so now we can disconnect Palmrest keyboard touchpad assembly from the screen. So that's the antenna wire. Okay. So that's our touchpad, keyboard assembly. Keyboard looks like it's riveted to the Palmrest, you cannot replace it. You can replace the touchpad. So if the touchpad doesn't work, you can replace it. Take out these screws here on the back. So that's our touchpad. And by the way, if you need parts, check gadlaptopparts.com. This cable belongs to the touchpad. And here, that's our power button. You could replace this board, but it's glued to the Palmrest, so we will leave it like that in our case. Now, let's see our screen. This one has cracked bezel, so let's see how hard it is to take out the actual LCD. So first we have to find a gap where we can lift the bezel and disconnect all the clips. So that's our front bezel. That should be our part number. Now let's take out our hinges. So if the hinges are broken, you can replace them. That's the hinge set. Now let's see the screen. Here on the top we have those pull tabs. That's our adhesive that's holding the screen. You have to gently take it out. Be patient, don't break it. If you break it, you won't be able to take out the LCD. So on the bottom you have also those strips. They're very short. I wasn't able to catch it. I don't know. I was able to lift it from the underneath and it didn't crack, but that was very sketchy. Those are the strips that I wasn't able to pull out. They barely stick out like just 1 millimeter. So watch out for this. So now to disconnect the video cable, you have to flip this retaining clip. Now we can pull it out. So that's our screen. Here we have the part number and the screen model number. And that's our back cover. Let's see if we can take out the video cable. Okay, yeah, so if the video cable doesn't work, you can replace it as well. It connects to the webcam. And to the logo. So that's the video cable. That's our part number. And that's our back cover with the webcam. You could replace the webcam if you have to, but it's very fragile. I won't be taking this out. It's glued all the way in. And that's our Wi-Fi antenna. And that's the back cover. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.